Hi, welcome to Nerd Dump. I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt.
Today, we're going to talk about Mega Man X. And this is going to be a two-parter. This is the part one. We're going to be doing Mega Man X1 through Mega Man X4.
Mega Man X, Success Divided by Failure, Part X.
Part X. Alright, Mega Man X.
Mega Man X. Like the Mega Man X.
What a great game, especially nostalgic-wise.
Super Nintendo, which is the only way to play it, by the way.
Yeah. The one true way to play it. They have these releases that I remember for the GameCube, the PS2, and the Xbox original. They released this version of it right here was a collection of them. And then later on here for the PS4, the Switch, and the Xbox One, they released another collection.
Shoot.
But the original Mega Man X was just an amazing game.
A little Super Nintendo controller, simple buttons, but the replay value of these games is high. Some more than others. And then this, I don't know, there's so many things to go over with these. These games are older now, like really old. It makes us feel old. But you go back and visit them, it's like, okay, this is like the first time I played it. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. It's fun, and it's just, everything about it is so cool.
I think the first three releases for Super Nintendo, because they made 8 of the games, or plus Mega Man X Command Mission, but the first 3 for Super Nintendo, those releases I think are the best ones in the series.
Yeah, we're focusing here on Mega Man X for now. I know Mega Man as a whole narrative is a broad topic. Legends.
Well, that's just Mega Man.
I know, yeah.
Mega Man Legends. Oh my god.
But Mega Man X.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about Mega Man X. We're going to do X1 through X4 because those are the best games, pretty universally accepted as the best games of the series. And the next video we're going to do on it's going to be X5 through X8.
Mega Man X. Success Divided by Failure, Part 0.
But yeah, Mega Man X the original. Remember it was a big upgrade from the Mega Man games, the NES, where you just had that beak, 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 and you charged up a little bit. It was very...
Well, like, it was harder to tell the storytelling style and stuff like the Super Nintendo. Like, you can't do it the same way you did now, cinematically and stuff, but the tone, the themes, all got much more mature. They got much more, like, intense and heavy, and, like, if you came in fresh, like, X was actually one of the first things I was introduced to before classic Mega Man, but going back and seeing all that older stuff, I was like, wow, X is really telling a bigger story, like a more mature narrative. And
I really did. But more notably in the X series came the upgrades.
Yes.
You could get armor upgrades, the X-Buster upgrades, the helmet, the legs for the dash and the longer jump and everything. Mm-hmm. You had the... what else they had? They had the permanent energy tanks as well they introduced, because in the Mega Man ones you could collect an energy tank, but it was, I believe, for a one-use time.
For a side-scrolling game, there's a lot of hidden things to find in all these games, some more frustratingly than others. But
the music was also a big improvement, especially with the 16-bit capabilities that Super Nintendo had. You had a big upgrade in the music from the NES series of Mega Man to the Mega Man X.
Oh man, and it all just sounds so cool. A lot of it has a lot of power. It's really distinct. I mean, I don't know. I really appreciate the sound design and the music design, and I think sometimes the only thing that continues to live up to that is what a lot of anime does, where it uses a lot more power and boom behind its soundtracking. And these old games, like the second you turn it on, you plug it in, it's like bing, Capcom, and then it's just like boom, the sound hits right away, right. And this whole game goes off of that scale and just keeps going up here.
So we have that release. I believe it was 1993.
Probably, yeah.
I think it was 92 or 93, X1.
Yeah, sure.
And then you have X2 comes out. And there's some noticeable differences. It's the same game. It's still a 2D side-scroller. Mm-hmm. You're still going after your 8 bosses. Mm-hmm. Your Sigma Fortress. Sigma's the new enemy in this. It's not Dr. Wily anymore. They're dead.
Yeah, they've added other elements into, though, like the, the Hunters?
Yep, the X-Hunters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the whole extra plots with Zero going on that can change the gameplay to a degree in the third act.
Right, Zero dies in the first one, and then in this one, You're trying to collect his body. He's got the head, torso, and legs, and it's for. I think they did that more for replayability.
Yeah.
As far as the Super Nintendo goes, but yeah, you collect the parts and you can save Zero at the end. Or if you don't get all the parts, you have to actually fight the real Zero.
To those that are somehow just totally new to this, to be clear, the big thing about the Mega Man series is these characters are all Reploids. They're essentially androids. Like, they're robots. They're machines that can freely think. That's a big part of the narrative. So when we're talking about finding the body parts of your friend, they're mechanical.
All right, I guess I should have cleared that up, huh?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, otherwise it's a little more macabre, but...
All right. But, so you defeat, there's 3 X-Hunters in this one, and you defeat them randomly after you beat the second or third boss in the game. They show up and they're in random locations, and it's a secret location. You find them, you beat them. It kind of changes, I don't think very much the outcome during the Sigma Fortress.
No,
level.
but you have to beat them when you encounter them.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you have different conditions to the last arc of the game, because you'll have to play it differently. I think no matter what, you're going to fight Zero, but...
No. If you collect all Zero parts, you don't fight him. They bring in
that's what it was.
their own version of Zero, but he comes and destroys it. And if you don't collect the parts, you actually do have to fight Zero.
That's right.
With that awesome song playing.
I have an awkward digression. For the first couple X games, I sincerely thought Zero was a girl. And he was one of my first video game crushes as a kid. I thought he was a girl. And I mean, look, it was 16-bit graphics, and then all the artwork was all anime, so it was like, you know, the red and white armor, the flowing hair and the sword, and I'm like, she is so awesome. Then later I found out it was a guy. And that was still okay, because I'm like, you know what? Man crush still counts. Then my new number 1 was Regina from Dino Crisis, but that's a whole other situation to unpack later.
Hopefully we'll get into that game on another video.
Yeah.
So, X2, great game. People didn't like the music as much in it. They did like this slappy bass thing, and then some of the songs weren't as memorable,
They were
in my
trying something
opinion. But
different.
yeah, I mean, it still holds well for an X series game. But then, I feel is the best Mega Man X game, to me, is Mega Man X3. Which came out
all right.
at a weird time for the Super Nintendo, because it was not only released on the Super Nintendo late in its life in 1995, when the Sega Saturn and the PS1 were already released.
Yeah, I guess so. Shoot.
They released it for both those systems in Japan, I know. I don't know if they did that here in the United States.
I feel like 96, 97 in my brain, but honestly, it might have been earlier.
Well, it was 95 it was released.
Okay, I meant here.
Oh, here? I
Yeah,
don't know. But
that's what I'm not
I know
sure.
they're very expensive to get a copy of any version of it. Besides these X collection games.
An original X3 on Super Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, that's around $400.
Easily,
Just
yeah.
to get the cartridge now.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's all auction.
That one though, oh my god, the music I felt in that one was rivals X1.
It's good. They tried to go back, I think, to their roots a little bit,
Well, they did.
and they mixed a lot of things up for better or worse. There's some working issues in 3. I mean,
I know you had, well, we both do, but you want to elaborate a little bit? Remember how they advertised the game when we were in 5th grade when it was coming out, and we had the Game Pro magazine?
yes.
Remember how they were advertising this game?
So they're talking about this virus. It's affecting like all the machines. It's affecting the AI, and you're like, all right. You're a kid reading this in the magazine, and we're like, I remember distinctly, we're in elementary school. We're at lunch. The cafeteria, we were outside eating. There was like this whole thing, doesn't matter. We're reading these Nintendo Power magazines, and we're like, if we play this game, and there's like a virus affecting the characters, what does that mean for the gameplay? Are we going to have time limits? Is that going to affect everything? It was like, this is going to be nuts.
We were really hyped. We were in 5th grade together in the same class, and we were so hyped over these advertisements to get. What's it going to be like with the gameplay of this game?
It doesn't affect it.
It doesn't. It was
But it's a cool
kind of a big
device.
letdown. It was a big letdown though, but it was still a great game. Still a great game. What were Bit and Byte called in that game? I can't remember now.
Shoot.
Were they the? No, that's Mega Man.
This is all
6
pretty
and
fresh. Oh man,
There's Bit and
they
Byte.
brought Vile back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Vile comes back. in
Vile's
this
from
one.
X1. He looks like Boba Fett. You're welcome.
Yeah, you can secretly fight him during the regular gameplay when you're fighting the 8 main bosses, and then you have to fight him again during Sigma's Fortress.
He's
again,
cool. That's the whole point. He's
Yeah.
cool.
He's got the arm cannon.
Just like Boba Fett, he doesn't contribute much to the story, but everyone at the time is like, that guy is amazing because he has a cool helmet.
He's like a mixture of Boba Fett and Predator. The
Yeah,
arm
I could see
shoulder
that.
cannon thing.
I still miss Proto Man.
Sigma does come back, and that's
Again,
every X game.
he
So,
wants to come
but
back for
he's
the
a
dark side.
he's a little harder in this one because he has 3 stages in that. You
Yep.
beat him in his regular form, then again in his big mecha armor suit,
You really can't beat a machine.
and then you have
think
to run
about
from him in lava.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Remember, you were here when I beat the game finally as an adult.
But they did do the changes with the armor system. The way you can upgrade your powers and stuff in that game. So that was
right.
a very, very cool, like, risk versus reward situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, well, you
Yeah.
had the 4 original ones. You could upgrade your helmet, your X-Buster, your legs, and your armor. And then, on top of that, they had more upgrades, but you can only get one of them. For the same 4 ones, you could get one of them, and it did like a double upgrade to whatever it is that you got. But if you held off on all of them, the very first, and they're not called, it's not called Sigma Fortress in this one, it's called the Doppler stages or whatever. The first Doppler stage, you can actually find the gold armor, and it's all 4 of those double upgrades on top. So you're just like this unstoppable Mega Man.
you play
know?
the game and you're just going at, like, your bare basics and fighting
Yeah.
your way through. But it pays off in terms of when you go into the end of the game, you go into that indefinite boss rush, which people love or hate.
I've never been a fan. I liked how they did in the first Mega Man X, where you went through levels as you fought them. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's not difficult because you've already beaten them and you have their weaknesses already. So
Yeah.
and those weaknesses in Mega Man X are more game breaking than they were in the Mega Man NES series. But
And before we jump ahead too, like I will say something with 3 was they took ideas from 2 and 1 and did do well with them, like giving you the option for like the mech suits.
that's another thing. Yeah,
Yep.
there's 4 mech suits. In
They
this
changed the level layouts. Sometimes not better, but sometimes better. Like maybe a slightly shorter level, different obstacles and puzzles to get through things. That's like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out with my brain. I can't just go through the level.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of backpedaling in that game. So like you see something, I don't know how to get to it. I need stuff from later in the game and come back and play again. So that would depend on your preference on how you play the game and what kind of time you're looking for.
Well, that's prevalent in all Mega
Yeah.
Man X. You have to go back to a level you already beat.
You need
'cause
certain
have-
items
yeah.
and
You have something that can access it now, or
but a lot of elevator stages.
oh yeah, those ones are really
It's where
boring.
it just slowly moves up and you got a lot to do.
In 16 bits.
Oh no, the economy. Oh, I feel sad now. Anyway.
Well then, there's one that I think you're more familiar with. You owned this as a kid, but Mega Man X4. It's move
Okay.
permanently
yes. Yep.
to
Yeah, upgraded
Nintendo. No
platforms.
longer is. I don't believe they're going to have any more releases except
to
for
say.
the Legends, the Mega Man 64. Remember that one?
I do now.
Yeah, I do now. Mega Man X goes over to the PlayStation along with Mega Man. They also we'll talk about Mega Man.
But I
another
mean,
time,
this is for 4. I think it worked. 4, this one's divisive, but it is arguably the best in the series.
that's what people, almost
said-
unanimously say it's the best
said
one.
arguably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that
It has some amazingly well developed changes to the narrative in terms of like the level design, not the narrative, but the level design, the style, the structure, the art direction. Like, it's great. The story is it has a story, and the
It
voice
has a story.
the voice acting. There's
Oh my God.
anime cutscenes now.
the best voice acting of any game ever.
It was the standard of the time.
Oh my god.
Honestly, the animation looks really good in the cutscenes. It's like pure 90s anime, but it's kind of awesome. Also, one of those times I figured out Zero wasn't a woman. But
Yeah,
not
the animation's
important.
amazing. The animation's just amazing, and it just looks like you said. But can you do Mega Man's voice
don't know.
for the camera?
If I ever become a maverick,
Oh yeah.
you need to promise to kill me.
I like Zero's yelling at, what have I done? He's so,
You have to promise. I'm not kidding. I can't do it.
It's bad though.
It's pretty interesting.
Our representation of it, I don't even think is as bad as the actual.
Zero, no.
Yeah. Mega Man sounds like either a prepubescent boy or an anime girl that's from one of the more raunchier. It's it's bad, but the game is solid. That's not the first time that they put those cutscenes in there either. The Sega Saturn release for X3.
X3, yeah.
They did do that, but it's not like this.
But 4 did make Zero a completely playable alternate campaign. 3 doesn't count. Yes, you have the ability to play as Zero in 3, but you get 1 life, and it's difficult to use. 4 took him and made his control style different than X's, while also keeping it in the same pattern so you can learn what to do. But 0 relies more on that sword. You get the Z sword, and that thing is awesome.
I forgot, if we can backtrack a little bit, we didn't even bring that up
Yeah.
about 3. Yeah, you can use them. Remember, they advertised that heavy than
But it
the
wasn't
virus thing.
committed.
No, but you didn't know that until you bought the game.
Yeah.
And you found out that Zero cannot fight the mini bosses, and he could not fight the main boss. And if he died at any point during the game,
Yep.
that was it.
He was a strong character, but it was like a special bonus that wasn't I feel like it was added late in production, but they just couldn't make it a full asset.
Which sucks because whenever you used him, the music changed. Remember that?
Yep.
And it was an awesome song. But
Zero's awesome.
he could only play the level in between any type of boss fight.
He or she was supposed to be my robot wife.
And then, in Mega Man X4, he is a playable all the way through
Yeah, you can
character.
choose 2 campaigns, but they don't ultimately end too differently. But it's still 2 different stories you can kind of follow with some different changes.
You get different cutscenes depending
You
on
get
who
some
you
different
use and stuff.
stories, so you can, if you really like it, you can actually explore what work went into this game in terms of production and development, which was a lot. When we're teasing some stuff, but a lot went into the game.
There's a couple different boss fights depending on who you use as
Yep.
well towards the end of the game. So the replayability is definitely there for Mega Man X4.
What were their names? They were very creatively named. The General and the Colonel.
No. Well,
I think-
Zero. I can't remember who Zero.
Zero fights the Colonel.
No.
Oh
he
no,
fights-
X does
No,
X.
he fights the sister of one of the general or something.
Iris.
Iris. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's. Correct us if we're wrong.
What
in
have
the
I
comments below.
Done.
What have I done? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about now,
What
right?
have I done?
Oh my
What is it
God.
Sigma did? Sigma's voice. I can't remember now.
Oh, it was terrible.
I'm having like a total brain fart on Sigma,
Oh.
but Sigma was another one. He's like, you.
Yeah, it's just bad acting around, but solid game, solid freaking game.
The acting wasn't that bad. Everyone knows when an acting performance is messy, it's probably the director's fault.
Yeah,
Fight me.
but so yeah, I mean that's all. Those 4 Mega Man X games are arguably, I don't even think arguably, they're the best ones.
I think, yeah, they're stronger. The narrative is tough in the early games because you have print on screen, little things noted between characters through the game, but otherwise it's hard to get more world building. But as a whole, these games actually tell a really cool epilogue story to the original Mega Man, opening up the gates to this entirely new story, which
Yeah.
is awesome because, like I said, I came into X before the original, and everything I was learning was so cool. So when I started learning about the original Mega Mans more, it's this completely different world, basically, and it's wild. Different characters, different situations, and it's like, there's a lot that's here, and if these games were made now, like fresh, there's such a huge way to explore that narrative, and it's so cool.
They did technically do a remake of the original X. Do you know what it was for?
I don't know why I don't
The
know about that.
PSP. It was a Mega Man X. It was redone in better graphics, and guess who was a playable character in that game?
Sigma.
No, think another bad guy.
I know, I'm just teasing. Oh, jokes aside, I don't know.
You can play as Sigma. Vile.
Oh, shoot.
You can play as Vile, but as you use him, you have the same song throughout the entire
Yeah, he has one track.
game. He has one track for every level. It's not, you don't have the level song anymore.
Boba Fett
And
didn't have a theme.
Boba Fett, Vile.
I know. Okay.
I know.
I'm teasing.
And then they took all that awesome Japanese synth or Japanese music they made for the first 3 X's, and they made it all synthesized. So
Okay.
it sounds really freaking weird.
That really quick back to 4, that was another thing, was the soundtrack. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of opinions on that. They kind of
Oh,
pulled
right.
away from the harder aspect of the first 3, and they gave it more of a synth sound. But like, I'll be real, what's it like? Storm Owl stage is one of my favorite of any Mega Man tracks. Period.
Yeah.
I love it so much. But Boomer Kuwanger from the first game.
Oh, I love that.
I love
song.
that one too. But they're so different. But there's a ton of them. The
A
music's
lot of people
amazing.
like Cyber Peacocks.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All the character names are pretty pun oriented. A lot of robots are built to look like animals. That's a thing.
Yeah, and they control different aspects of. What do you have? The toxic seahorse guys, like one from Mega Man X3.
The armored armadillo.
Yeah,
that's back when they were trying.
They'll control things like before they become Mavericks in like industry or
they're
the military or something.
They're meant to help with the world in some way.
Yeah.
Chill Penguin.
Yeah, but then they all go Maverick.
The Flame Mammoth.
Yeah,
they're just fun. The Boomer Kuwanger, which suddenly goes totally left field and trying to name something.
It's supposed to be a beetle.
Yeah, but
like some type of Japanese beetle.
Storm Eagle, Storm Owl. They were getting a little derivative there, but.
Well, when we come back for our next episode on the Mega Man X series,
Neon
starting
Tiger.
with 5, the names are going to get much worse. You'll see down, especially 7 and 8. I'll put a little sauce to this. Mega Man X5 is not that bad of a game, but it's also the start. And we'll talk more about that in our next episode. So, if you like what we're doing here, click that like button and share the video, please.
What is your favorite X game? What is your opinion on what we've said? X1 through 4. What's your opinion on 5 through 8? Start throwing it in now. What do you think? The best, the worst. What are your opinions?
Yeah. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. This is Nerd Dump. I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt! Anime!
And we'll see you next time.
I don't know if this looks accidentally like a Nazi salute, but it's meant to be anime.
Yeah, you got your hand too far up.
Okay.
What do we do? Oh, what happened?
What's wrong? What's wrong? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's just take a look. Did you leave it on when it was almost dead?
Oh, I need to stop.